Welcome everybody. In this video, we are going to discuss web app pen testing lab and how to set up that and which softwares are required for a web app pen testing lab in your home network. Or so just check out the below tools like for a VM install, you have to require Oracle VirtualBox or VMware Workstation Player. Second one is a OS broken web application VM. So, and third one is a Burp proxy community. It's a intermediate software. So it intercepts the request before read to the server from a browser request. So I will mention all the download links in a video description. Just check it out. For VMware workstation player, you can download it here from Windows or Linux based on your system. OS broken web application project, so you can download it from here. Burp Suite, so you can download it from the portsfigure.net /burp. So here is the Burp Suite and three version: community version, professional version, and enterprise version. So for learning purpose or testing purpose, we are using a community version. It's a free of cost. For professional, you have to pay for a per year license subscription, or enterprise is the same. You have to pay the per year license subscription. So right now we are using a community version. So it's a free of course. So let's download the all mentioned links from the video description, and let's set up the web pen testing lab. Now set up the OS broken web app pen testing lab. So I have already installed the VMware workstation and already downloaded the OS broken web app. So just after extracting the OS broken web, just you can find out the VMware virtual machine configuration. After that, just open with the VMware player. So it will take 1 or 2 minutes time to boot up. Here you can see that the username and password, root and password is OS BWA broken web application. So just entering the username, password, SPBWA. Now we can access the web app using the IP address 192.168.33.131. So just minimizing that and opening the web browser. You can use any web browser. I am just using a Google Chrome. So it's take a time to open a Google Chrome. Just check it Wait. Okay, now open. IP address 192.168.33.131. Now here is the our VMware virtual machine. So in this broken web app, you can find the multiple lab. For example, web code, Rails code, security SAP, the magical code injection rainbow, and DVWA, and many more. So in a single lab, you can find out the multiple web application. So you can test it from your end. So this is the we have set up the OS broken web application, and I have already installed the Burp Suite, and I have created the shortcut. Just opening the Burp Suite. In next video, we will discuss regarding the how to set up a Burp Suite and how to intercept the request, so we can listen the uh, traffic. Now this is the our Burp Suite tool. So this is the main dashboard. You can find out the task or issue activity if you have any found any vulnerability, event logs. So we will discuss in deep in next video. So just this is the I have installed the Burp Suite and the OS broken web application and Hyper-V. So this is our simple lab for a home web app. Now, listening for the HTTP traffic using a burp suite. So burp suite is a described as a intercepting the proxy. This means burp sites between a user's web browser and application's web server, and intercept or capture all the traffic flowing between them. So this type of behavior commonly refers to as a proxy service. So, pen tester use a intercepting proxy to capture a traffic flowing between the browser and website. Means web browser or web application for the purpose of analysis and manipulation. For example, tester can pose any HTTP request and change the parameter or tampering the parameter to sending the request to the web server. So intercepting a proxy such as a burp, so allow a tester to intercept the both HTTP request and HTTP response. This allow a tester to observe that the behavior of the web application. So this is the all about the how to start a burp and listening for the HTTP traffic using a burp. In next video, we will discuss regarding the how to configure a burp suite and how to configure a proxy in a web browser to intercept the request. Now open the Firefox browser, go to option in general tab, scroll down to the network proxy section and then click the setting. In the connection settings, select the manual proxy configuration and type in the IP address of 127.0.0.1 with the port of 8080 and use this proxy server for all the protocols, and make sure the no proxy for the text box is blank, as I am showing the in video. So let's check it with the next video, how to set up, how to configure a proxy in a web browser. Now I have opened the Firefox browser. In option, go to option, in general setting, or you can search here for the proxy. So it's easy to identify, and network setting. Here you can add the IP address 127.0.0.1, and port is 8080, and just OK. So now we have all we configured the proxy in a Firefox. So now we will check the burp suite to identify the we have intercept is on or not in a burp suite tool. So we are opening the burp suite tool. If your project is temporary, then select the temporary project. If you have to save project, then you can save by providing the name and file type. Means provide the path to where to save this file. And if you have to already save the project and you have to open the project, then select the open existing project and select the part for where you have to open the project. So right now we are selecting the temporary project. Just wait for a few seconds. Now go to the proxy, intercept, and check it the intercept is on or not. So in Burp Suite version 2020.9.2, by default embedded browser it's installed. So you can use that browser. So there is a no need to configure any proxy in that browser. So it's by default embedded Chromium browser to start a testing purpose right away. And you can intercept is just click on that and you can off and on using a proxy. Intercept is on or off based on requirement. So you can open the browser if you have to open use a Chromium embedded browser for a testing purpose. So here is the basic related to intercept the request using a burp suite between the web browser and web server. So you are here you can find that the Chromium browser is already open, and it's find that the burp suite symbol here. Now setting the target sitemap. So now we have the traffic flowing between the browser but an OS BWA virtual machine. So we can beginning with the scope of first. So for this we have to open our website which is deployed in our VM. So just I am opening the web browser. I am using a embedded web browser. Okay, so just I have opened the browser, and you can see that this is the Google request. So just right now turn off the intercept on. Now turn on, and you can see the target. Okay, so here I just I'm removing old one. Okay, just I will remove after the accessing the website. So for example, HTTP IP address 192.168 uh, 33.131. Just accessing the website. And you can see that the request here, not this one. Okay. And here you can find that the IP address of that which VM of OS BWA. I'm just removing other one because we have to practice on this. Okay. So this is the all about the setting a sitemap. So now here we can see that the multiple path of for particularly uh, which scope we have to add. For example, we have to add this particular in a scope. So for example, right click and add a scope. Yes. In scope, you will identify the particular which we have added the scope, or you can manually add the link here and you can paste the URL here. Now let's understand regarding the message editing tool. So on almost every tool and tab with Burp Suite that display a HTTP message, so you will see the editor identifying the request and response. So this is commonly referred to as a message editor. So message editor allows a viewing and editing HTTP request and response with specialty. For example, for within a request, you can find the header, header, hex, the setup of the this is a row header, hex, HTML, sometime and sometime it's a render. You can find the render here. We will see in any other request, but you can find that, and you can check the parameter in for example target sitemap. Okay, sitemap, and here is the request. Okay, so you can find the row header x and response. You can find the row render. So it's all about the, for example, you can find the page of a render here. So it's all about the message editing. So if you are forwarding the request, then you can modify request and you can check the response as of that modified request. So this is all about the message editor in a Burp Suite. Now let's talk about the repeater. So repeater allow for slight changes or any modify request. So it displayed in the left window. So so for example, if we have to change any parameter, for example, this is the request proxy TTP history. For example, this is the request. So we can send it to repeater, and you can find that request in a year. And after that, you can send the request. So you can identify the request here, and you can find the render here. So repeater tab is useful for if you have to change any particular parameter or any modification in request. So you can check the what is the response after modifying the request. So repeater allows you to manually modify and then issue an individual HTTP request, analyze the response that you receive. So we will use a repeater quite a bit through in this video. This video just an introduction to repeater and to understand the purpose. Now let's talk about the decoding with the decoder in Burp Suite. So Burp Decoder is a tool that allow a tester to convert a raw data into encode the data, or take a encode data and convert it to back to plain text. So decoder support the server format including URL encoding, HTML encoding, base encoding, and binary decode, hash data, and other. So decoder also include a built-in hex editor. So for example, we have a website here. So just checking the HTTP history, and for example this. Okay. So just we are sending this request to decoder. Decoder just need just select that and send to decoder here. So we have to select the specific we have to find the HTTP request you generated from your browser within a proxy HTTP history, and you can find out the value of PHP session ID, and just click on that and send it to decoder. Okay, just and you can check with the find, you will find that particular value here, and you can decode as a which you want to, for example URL, for example plain, which format you have to encode or decode, you will identify the from here. Okay, so this is all about the decoder. In this example we cannot proceed any further, we can confirm the value was. So for example you can base 64, so you can check with the particular base 64 the purpose of receipt. So you can use a decoder to manipulate the encoded value in short. So this is the very useful tool for decode any HTML coding, a base 64 encoding, binary code, hash data, or including URL. Most important, intruding with the intruder. So the burp intruder allow a tester to brute force or fuzz specific portion of HTTP message using a customized payload. So you can set up the customized attack using an intruder, and tester will need to use the setting available for the sub tabs of intruder. So for example intruder, you can here find that, and you can find the attack target. So for example we will check any admin history. If we have login, maybe not login, just checking with the admin.
Okay, so we logged in as an admin. Now we will check the history of HTTP request. We will check the any admin request. Yeah, this is the admin request. So we can send that request to, for example, into intruder, intruder target, specific host, port number, and position. So first we clear all and just and we can add the password. For example, if we have to fuzz a password, so just click on add that. Now set a payload. For example, right now I have set a, for example, right password. For example, just checking with the wrong password, and we can use an intruder to log in it. So just I'm log out. Okay, just I'm log in with a wrong password. Okay, okay. So it's incorrect password, but we will check that request in a here. Okay, this is the wrong password that I have entered. So just I am sending this request to intruder to fuzz our password. So just after clear all, for example, and for example we have add a, and just add the payload. For example, mm, for example, password admin. You can use any, for example, if you have to use a numbers, date, brute force, null payloads, you can use from here. But right now we are using a just simple to understand that. And after that option, send the connection close. Okay. Request take result, grep match. For example, you can add the grep match, for example, error, exception, illegal, invalid, to remove that. Or you can add the redirection, but just we are starter attack. Okay, here you can find that the, for example, it's status code 200, but it's a different. So you can find that the 302. Okay, and admin and response we will check. It's not found. Just checking the header, this render. Okay, so we are login as an admin. You can find that the admin, we are able to log in using this password. So you can modify any request, or you can brute force using your payloads. For example, here is the payload set: simple list, runtime file, custom character, case modification, recursive grep, based on your requirement. So in using the intruder, burp intruder allow a tester to brute force or fuzz a specific portion of HTTP message. So using a customized payload. So to we have seen this one of the example. We have brute force the password.
In this video, we are going to discuss assessing the authentication scheme. So first we will check the testing for account, enumeration and guessable the account. Second will be testing for a weak lockout mechanism. Third one is a testing for a bypassing authentication schemes. Fourth one is a testing for a browser cache weakness. And fifth one is testing the account provisioning process via REST API. Testing for account enumeration and guessable the account. So by intercepting with the authentication mechanism, a tester maybe find it possible to collect the set of valid usernames. Once the valid accounts are identified, it may be possible to brute force password. So in this video, we will explain uh, how Burp Intruder can be used to collect the list of valid user names. So first, we have to open the application Gatebo, which was installed in our lab. Just click on that. Just click on login. We are entering the wrong password of a particular one user. For example, admin, and just entering the password, any wrong password, and just click on login. So it's showing that the password is invalid. Okay. So open Burp HTTP history, and you can hear that find that request, which is showing the password is invalid. So now just send request to intruder, send to intruder, clear all. We have to find the valid username. So we are just adding the uh, particular name here, and just click on the payloads. In payloads, you can add a user, for example, user cyber brew John demo admin. So you can add the user list here. Now in the list, keep the simple list here. And now for option, we have to match grep match. So click on the flag result with the response matching with this expression. Just clear all. Copy that which password. The password is invalid. Add that. Okay. Now click on the start attack. So here is the start attack, and you can find that the particular grep match password is invalid. Okay, so the result of this attack will provide the table of username enumeration vulnerability based on or error message. The password is invalid. So after that, you can find that the means we are able to find that the particular user demo and admin are already created user in the system or website or any application. So how using the intruder we are able to find the valid users which already created on the application and or website. So this is all about the
testing for account enumeration and guessing the account.
Now let's discuss regarding the testing for a weak lockout mechanism. So account lockout mechanism should be present with the application to mitigate the brute force logging attacks. So typically applications set a threshold between 3 to 5 attempts. Many application lock up period of time before to reattempt is allowed. So pen tester must test all the aspect of logging protection, including the challenges, question, and response. So determine whether the application contain a proper lockout mechanism in a place. If they are not present, attempt to brute force credentials against the login page to achieve the unauthorized access to the application.
Now let's do the practical for weak lockout mechanism. So just we are log out from login, just entering the wrong password. Just we are testing the how many password we enter the wrong, and then after that the account will be locked. So just I am entering the wrong password here. Password is incorrect. Just checking the request. Okay, not logged in. Just send this request to intruder because we have to brute force the password lockout mechanism. So just clear all. For password we are just adding here payload. For payload we are just entering some wrong password here. For example, if any application lockout mechanism will work after a 3 wrong password attempt or 5 password wrong attempt, just we are checking for that 3. Okay, so first 3 password is wrong and 4th password is right. So just after a 3 password, if application will be locked, then 4th password will be not work if it's right password in the your application, if you have configured the weak lockout mechanism. So just checking that we have entered the password, just enter extra grab. Okay, just adding that not logged in request, just mark it. Okay, click it, just start attack. So here you can see that this is the not logged in, not logged in, not logged in, not logged in, and 4th will be work because it's a right password. So you can test how many password you will enter the wrong password, and after that application will be logged that. So you can check it using this practical, or you can find any weak lockout mechanism if is there any present. Now third one is a testing for bypassing authentication scheme. So in this scenario, we are testing the application may contain flaws or allowing the unauthorized access by means of bypassing the authentication. So bypassing techniques include the direct page request and parameter modification, session ID prediction, and SQL injection. So in this video, we are use the parameter modification. So we can check with the unauthenticated request to match with previous request, captured request, and replay and modify an unauthentication request to gain the access of application through a bypassing login mechanism. So let's do the practical for the same. Now let's do the practical for the bypassing authentication scheme. and we will do the practical for the same. So just first you have make sure you are not logged in. So if you are logged in, just log out from that request. After reload that page, and you will find that request in HTTP history. So click on that request. Just send this request to repeater also and comparer also. Okay. This is the request without login. Just repeater. You can find that the get request and just send. And you can check the response render. So here you can see that the accounts not logged in. If you are logged in, here you can see that the logged in username. Now just we are logging again. Sorry, we are just logging. Admin. Now we are logged in as an admin. Okay, just checking the request. Send this request to repeater and comparer. Okay, and comparer, you can compare that both request. First request is without login, and second request is with the login. So you can compare that. So you can find that the key modified, deleted, or added. You can see that the request get without a login, and post request with logged in. And here you can see that the added parameter here. Okay, so just close that and check the repeater request also, sign, and here you can see the render. You are logged in as an admin. Okay, so now just we have to particular copy the referrer ID. Here we can see that the in comparer, what is the added request here is referrer and username, password, and all that. So first we check the, click on the added connection. Just copy that, copy, and just we are paste it in on the first request, which was without a login. Okay, now just we are sending again that request and checking the response. Your browser's request this server could not be understand. Just a minute. This is the bad record. Just a minute. Okay, I'm adding the before the connection. Okay, so I'm just adding the paste. Okay, just cookies encoding and refer before the connection. So just pasting here and sending it. Now we are check the response. It's getting the request 200. Okay, in get request and checking the response. Now we are logged in the website using a admin username. So in this practical, we have just copy the request from the logged in request and just paste into that in a particular request where we uh, user are not logged in. So simply that you can just check the token or cookies or referral value of the authentication request and just copy that request into on authentication request, and we are able to bypass the authentication scheme and gain unauthorized access to the application. So here we just you added the referrer or this type of all the parameter and just paste it into an authentication request and send that request again, and we are able to uh, access the application using a bypass mechanism. So this is all about the bypassing authentication scheme. Now fourth one is testing for a browser cache weakness. So browser cache is provided for improve the performance and better end user experience. So whenever sensitive data is typed in the browser by the user, such data can also be cached in browser history. So this cached data is visible by examining the browser's cache or simply by pressing the browser's back button. So in this video, we are going to do the practical for browser cache weakness using a browser's back button to determine the whether login credentials are cached or allowing for the unauthorized access. And we will also check the request in burp also, and we will understand the vulnerability. So just we are doing the practical here. Now you can see that the website we are not logged in, and check his last request also. Okay, it's a normal request. So you can find that, okay. Now just we are logging that request. Admin. Now we are logged in. Okay, logged in as admin. Okay, now just checking the request. Here is the request. We have entered the password. Okay, it's a 302. Previous status code is a 200 and 302 is a login request. This is the pop-up notification request. Now just we are log out from here. Okay, just clicking on that, the logout. Okay, now we are log out, checking the request. This is the logout request. Okay, now we are log out for from the application or website, but if we are click on back button in browser, you can find that you are able to log in using an admin. So this is the one type of vulnerability. And now checking the request here. This is the request. You can see that you are logged in. Just a minute. In browser, you can see that you are able to log in. Now just click on logout. You are logged out from the application. This is the logout request. Okay. Now just we are clicking on the back button. and you can check that we are able to log in again as an admin. So here we can say that this is the vulnerability where whether login credentials are cached, so allowing for the unauthorized access. So we have checked that for example, cache data is visible by the examining the browser's cache, and simple by pressing the browser's back button, we are able to log in again. So this is the one type of the vulnerability using a browser cache weakness. Now fifth one is testing the account provisioning process via REST API. So account provisioning is the process of establishing and maintaining the user account within application or website. So provisioning capabilities are usually restrict user accounts. Penetration tester must validate account provisioning functions are done by user providing proper identification and authorization. A common venue of account provisioning is through a representational state of transfer. You can call as a REST API call. So many times developer maybe not put the same authorization check in the place for API calls that are used in EI portion of the application. So using the REST API call, we can get the all user information. So now we will check the account provisioning process via REST API. Let's do the practical for the same. Now testing the account provisioning process via REST API. So first we will check the user account information. Just click on SQL injection, extract data, user info. We are just entering the username. Name is user, password is user, and click on the view account details. And after that, you are able to see that the particular user details. Username is user, password user, signature means user account info. So just after that, you have to check the web services for REST. So just click on the web services REST, user account enumeration, SQL injection, or REST API, SQL injection, account management. So this is the URL for the REST API. REST API for particular user, you can use this, and for all the user, you can use this. So you can get that URL using Burp spidering or spidering. If you are click on that particular target, and you can find that scan this website or actively scan that, and you can get that particular REST API call information here. Web services, REST, user account info. So you can get it also using a spidering or actively scan here. Now let's try to invoke the one of the REST call. So here is the user account management REST API request. So click on that. You can find that request in proxy HTTP history. Just send that request to repeater. In repeater, just click on send, and you will get that this is the REST API call, and this is the information. Now we are just adding the parameter here, username equal to user. Okay, now just send the request. So after adding that, we are able to find that particular user account information here. Now, instead of a user, we are using this type of user for check the all the possibility. Just insert that request, and now the password for username is password and all that for all the accounts. So just sending that request, and here we can see check that the many user account information here. In render we are able to see easily. So here you can set that user name, user account info for admin is admin, the password for so you can find all the user and password details here using the REST API call. So so this is the one type of vulnerability. You can say that particular we are notice that we are dump all the accounts in the database to displaying username, password and signatures. So this is the one type of vulnerability. Now let's check with the for example user account API request here. So now just checking with the, we are able to delete or create a user using this REST API call. So sending this request to repeater here, and now here is the get request. So instead of get, we are changing it to delete. We are testing to we are trying to delete the user. Delete, and parameter you can just add as a body username user, password user. So here we can able to delete the user using the REST API call without any administrator rights. So just click on that send request, and now you can find that the result deleted account user. So same way you can add the user using the REST API call. If you are able to do that by changing the parameter at any request, so it's one type of vulnerability of account provisioning process. And here we can verify the if we have deleted the user. Just click on that back. Now just enter the user and user view account details, and here you can find that the bad username or password authentication error. So we have deleted, so that's why it's showing the this type of error. You can also create the user, recreate the user account, or using the same uh, steps, or just replace the delete with the put request in signature. So if you have to create that particular user, just put enter the put request here, and after that users created, just sending the request. Now insert the account user, one rows affected. Now we are just checking the render. Okay, now just checking in browser, click on user view account details. Now you can see that the user is created using a REST API call. So pen tester make sure they are checking the all the possibility of possible vulnerability of REST API call. So this is all about the assessing authentication scheme. So in this video, we have checked the account enumeration and guessable account, testing the weak lockout mechanism, bypassing the authentication scheme, and testing the browser cache weakness, and also testing the account provisioning process via REST API.
Assessing the authorization checks. So in this video, we will cover regarding the testing for directory travels, testing for the LFI, local file include, testing for the remote file include RFI, testing for the privilege escalation, and testing for the IDOR, insecure direct object reference. So in this video, we are going to cover like the basic of authorization, including an explanation of how a application user roles to determine user function. So web penetration testing involve key assessment to determine how well the application validates function assigned to given role. So in this video, we will learn how to use Burp to perform this type of test. So let's start with the directory travels. Now for the testing for a directory traversal. So directory travels attack are attempt to discover or force the browser to unauthorized web pages usually designed to for the administrator of the application. So if the application does not configure the web document root properly and does not include the proper authorization check for each page access, a directory travels vulnerability could exit. So in particular situation, such a weakness could lead to system command injection attack or the ability of attacker to perform the arbitrary code execution. So let's do the practical. Now open the VM lab. Just click on the login page. After login page, you will find that the particular index.php question mark page is equal to login.php. Just find that request in burp history, HTTP proxy HTTP history. Just click on that. Forward this request to intruder. Clear all, and just we are testing the directory travels. So just click on add button, and for the payload clip it to simple. For admin panel we have some word list which is for use for the fuzzing. So just Google it and find that the particular word list from the fuzz repository admin -panel.txt. So first you will find the first one and just click on that. And here is the multiple admin panel word list. Just click on that row, select all, copy. We are using this as a payload for to verify the particular um, the word list as a payload. So just click on the paste. So after that, all the word list are here, and just uncheck the payload encoding. Just click on the start attack. It will take a time for a 1 or 2 minutes based on your fuzzing word list. Here just
Okay. You can check the length of particular response. Notice the payload that you have a large response length. So this look like a promising perhaps. So we can check with some administrator pages that may contain uh, fingerprinting information or unauthorized access. So we have to wait for the 1 or 2 minutes during the intruder attack. I'm posing a video for 1 or 2 minutes.
Now fuzzing is finished. So just let's check the payload of larger response length.
Okay, you can see that the
Administrator.php and admin.php, login.php and home.php.
in administrator.php, you can check the response render here. So just it's loading. So you can find the particular all the PHP um, server version, loaded configuration, .inf file, all the details you are able to access. PHP credits. So without even being the logged, we are able to force the browser to an area of web application that was unmapped. So the term unmapped means the application itself had a no direct link to this secret configuration page. However, Burp Intruder and word list containing the commonly known administrator file names. So we were able to discover this page using a directory traversal attack. So this is all about the directory traversal attack. You can check with the another word list also.
Welcome everybody. In this video, we are going to discuss regarding the LFI, local file include vulnerability. So in this vulnerability, we are able to access the web server control and access to privileged files and resource through a configuration setting. So privileged files include files that they should only accessible by the system administrator. For example, in Windows system, you can find as a boot .ini. In a Unix system, you can identify using a /etc/password. So LFI attack is an attempt to access a privileged file using a directory traversal attack. So LFI attacks include a different style of including // attack, directory brute forcing, and directory cleansing and backtracking type of style you can use for a LFI. So let's do the practical for the same. First, you just go to your lab and just click on the login and register tab. And after that, you are able to find that request in a HTTP history, proxy HTTP history. Just click on that link, sign into Intruder. Okay, so clear all the payload. Just click on that the login.php. Just add that payload position. Now just Google it to with fuzz. Just check it out the with wfuzz in GitLab and just word list injection and traversal file. Just check it, click on row. Just copy. This is the payload and paste here. So 68 payload here. And now just we are start attack. So here we can get the all the request response here. So just check the highest length. Wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, we got that request. Okay, so now check the particular one by one response and just check the highest length response. Most probably, first check the response in render. Not cannot find anything. Just check this. Okay, here we can find that the etc password etc password. So using the web fuzz directory traversal, we can find the LFI. So this is the vulnerability. This is the only accessible by of application owner or a system administrator. So due to the poorly protected file permission and lack of application authorization check, attackers are able to read the privileged local files on system containing the sensitive information. So here you can see that this is all the sensitive information. So this is all about the LFI, local file inclusion vulnerability. Okay. Uh, and next video we will discuss regarding the RFI, remote file inclusion vulnerability. Now let's talk about the testing for the remote file inclusion RFI vulnerability. So remote file inclusion is an attempting to access the external URLs and remotely locate the files. So the attack is possible due to the parameter manipulation and lack of server-side check. So this oversight allows parameter changes to redirect the user to the location that are not widely stated or sanitized with the proper data validation. So let's do with the practical. Just go to your lab OS BWDA. Just refresh your login page. Just a minute. Enable proxy. Just go to your OWS lab and just reload the login page, and you will get this type of request. Now we are here doing is the parameter manipulation. So right now we are here just changing the request and providing the another value of the, for example, for testing purpose we are using another application. Just a minute. Check it out. Just a minute. First we are turn off. Just a minute. We have another application for just testing purpose. So we are using a getbo. Okay. So here is the landing page of getbo. Okay. So just now let's start again. Intercept on. Just reload the page of login or register page. You will get the request here. So now just we are changing the parameter. So we are using another application, another server or another request. Just replace with the getbo application, another server. So now just turn off the just forward and turn off the request and check it out the here. So now you can check the getbo application landing pages in this application. So this is the one type of vulnerability you can call as a RFI, remote file inclusion. So in this vulnerability, the page parameter does not include the proper data validation to ensure that the value provided it's whitelisted or contain any prescribed list of acceptable value. So by exploiting this weakness, we are able to dictate value to this parameter, which should not be allowed. So this is the one type of RFI attacks. So in RFI attacks, we are able to attack the attempting to the access of external URLs and remotely locate the file. So here we have used the external URL, and remotely we are able to locate this file in this server. So the attack is possible due to the parameter manipulation. So here we have done the parameter manipulation during the request. Here we have changed the request and providing the external URL. So this attack is possible due to the parameter manipulation and lack of server-side checks. So this is all about the RFI attack. Now next we will discuss regarding the privilege escalation. In this video, we are going to testing a privilege escalation. So developer code in the application must include the authorization check on assign the roles to ensure that authorized user is not able to evaluate their role to higher privilege, such as a privilege escalation Attacks occur by modifying the value of assigned the role and replacing the value with another. In the event that the attack is successful, the user gain unauthorized access to resource or functionality normally restricted to administrator or more powerful attacks. So in this video, we are going to discuss user privilege escalation. So now we are going to do the practical for privilege escalation. So just open our lab. Okay. Now just click on login. Okay. Already one user is already created, John, and his password is monkey. Login. Now you can see that the John user is logging, and okay. So now just we are checking the HTTP history. John username. Okay. Now we are looking for the get request and John username. So just checking the okay. So this is the get request, okay, and this is the John user, okay, and okay, okay, okay. So now first we have to check the cookie line. So cookie line is showing that, okay. So the name and value pair of the most interest include the username is equal to John and UID is equal to 3. What if we attempt to manipulate this value or with a different role? So just let's attempt to manipulate the parameter username and a UID stored in the cookie to different roles. So we will use the Burp Suite proxy to intercept this, perform this attack. So just we are checking with this request. So now just intercept on. Are you okay? And first it's on make or off. First log out the user. Log out the user. Now we are just intercept on John password monkey and login. And here is the request. Okay. So cookie line. This is the post request. Okay. So forward that, and this is the get request. Okay. Now check the cookie line. Username, UID. Okay. So now just we are changing the username or a UID. So we set the sorry admin UID is equal to 1 and forward that request. Okay, so let's check the page. Okay, so after intercepting and modifying the request, we are able to log as an admin. So there are server application issue associated with the privilege escalation. So any action related to account provisioning, for example, role assignment and
should only be allowed by administrator. So in this video, we have learned without a proper check in place, user can attempt to escalate their provision roles. So another issue explied in this video is we have changed the UID in request. So after changing the UID number, it's a guessable number. So you can change with, or you can use as a intruder attack, and you are able to find the user account enumeration also. So we have changing the just UID from 3 to 1. We are simple able to log in as an admin in the application. So this is the one type of privilege escalation vulnerability. Okay, thank you. Now let's discuss regarding the testing for insecure direct object reference, IDOR. So IDOR means allowing unauthorized direct access to file or resource on a system based on user supplied input is known as IDOR. So this vulnerability allow the bypassing the authorization check placed on such file or resource. So IDOR is just a result of unchecked user supply input to retrieve an object without a performing authorization checks in application code. So in short, here is the one image. You can check it out. I found from the Google. So for example, here no vulnerability. So assign a user 1 to record 1 means dedicated assign the privilege or file or resource or system are able to access the specific users. So here is the no IDOR vulnerability. But if any malicious user able to access any user's data or any other resource or any other system resource, so this is called as a IDOR, insecure direct object reference. So let's do the practical for that. Now just we are opening our lab. First log out from the okay. Now just we have to check the IDOR. So IDOR, okay. Now source user. So from the source user page, using the default file selected in drop down menu, so upload hyphen file.php, click on view file. Okay, so now we are able to get the file upload hyphen file.php. So just in this practical, we are just changing the file path. We are changing the upload hyphen file.php. So let's on the intercept request. Okay, now just click on that the view file. So now we are able to that request here, post request here, and here is the source file path. So here we will change the php file is equal to .php file using some wfuzz parameter. Let me check. Wfuzz.
club word list injection any for example just not we are using this any one of them. We are just simple replacing the password file. Okay, for example testing purpose we are using this. Okay, so now change to, so we have changed the .php file or parameter value. So now just forward that request and intercept off. Okay, got it. So here is the after returning the browser, notice we can see the content of etc password. So to see the source file of upload hyphen dot file dot php, we have intercept that request and changing the parameter value. So after that we are able to get the system's etc password details. So this is the one type of IDOR vulnerability. So due to the lack of proper authorization check on the PHP file parameter within the application code, so we are able to view the privilege file on the system. So developer and system administrator privilege access control and check prior the revealing the sensitive files. So when these access control are missing, IDOR vulnerability are must present. So uh, this is the one type of IDOR vulnerability. So in this practical we have done the direct access to files or a resource on a system based on user supply input. So we have just access the unauthorized access to gain the etc file by changing the parameter value of upload hyphen file dot php file. Okay, thank you so much. Now assessing the session management mechanism. So in this video we are discuss and doing the practical for testing a session token strength using a sequencer number. Second, testing for a cookie attribute. Third, testing for a session fixation. And fourth one is a testing for exposed session variables. And fifth one is a testing for a CSRF, cross-site request forgery. So in this video, we are used and cover the technique to bypass and assess the session management scheme. And session management scheme are used by the application to keep the track of record of user activity. So usually by mean of session tokens. So web assessment of session management also involved to determining the strength of session and tokens are used in application. So whether those tokens are properly protected or not, and how can we check that and perform such type of test, we will do in this video. So first let's start with the testing a session token strength using a sequencer. Now in this video, we are going to discuss regarding the testing session token strength using a sequencer, and we will do the practical for the same. So first, let's understand why it's requires session management. So to track a user activity from page to page within application, or developer create and assign a unique session token values to each user. So most session token mechanism include the session ID,
hidden from the fields or cookies. So cookies are placed within a user's browser on the client side. So these are session token should be examined by the penetration tester to ensure that their uniqueness, randomness, cryptography strength, and to prevent the information leakage. So if a session token value is usually guessable or remain unchanged after a login, attacker could apply at pre-known token value for a user. So this is also known as a session fixation attack. So generally, the purpose of this attack is to harvest the sensitive data in the user's account since the session token is known to the attacker. So let's do the practical. Uh, in this video, we are going to doing the practical for session token strength using a sequencer. So just we are opening our lab. First, check that you are not logged in any using any user account. Just check the burp history and check the get request. Okay, this is our get request. So now we have to check the session ID response. Okay, so this is our PHP sessions ID. Okay, so just click on that, send it to sequencer. In sequencer, we have selected the live capture request, and we have to select the cookies in PHP session ID. Okay, and now we have to start the live capture. So we will check the some tokens here. So it's basically doing a brute forcing or extracting the PHP cookies out of response. So after each capture, sequence perform a static analysis of the level of randomness in each token. So we have seen that the request, I think, nearby 400. Okay, so we are stop that. Yes, and one minute it's loading the summary. Analyze now. Okay, so now after the analysis is complete, the output of sequence provider overall result. So in this case, the quality of randomness of PHP session ID token is excellent. So it's a 101 bits. We can see that the randomness within the sample is estimated. It's excellent. So it's a very good and 101 bits. So however, through there is a no vulnerability present. So it is a good practice to perform such check on session token. So basically, uh, in this video, we have learned that the session token strength using a sequencer. So Basically, session is used for to track user activity from page to page within application or developer. Create and assign a unique session token value to each user. So most of session token mechanism include the session ID hidden from fields or cookies. Cookies are placed within the user's browser on client side. So this session token should be examined by the penetration tester to ensure that their uniqueness or randomness and cryptography strength to prevent the information leakage. So we have done the practical for the same, and we have got the some result. Overall result, it's excellent, and it's showing that the 101 uh, bits. So the amount of effective entropy is estimated to 101 bit. So from the web penetration perspective, these session tokens are very strong. So there is a no vulnerability in this with in this report here. So uh, so this is all about the session token strength using a sequencer. How you can perform the in your lab.
Assessing session management mechanism, and we are going to discuss regarding the testing for a cookie attribute. So important user specific information such as a session token. So generally cookies always saved in the client browser. Due to their importance, cookies need to be protected from the malicious attacker, any JavaScript attack. And this protection usually comes in the form of two flags: secure and HTTP only. So first, secure flag. So secure flag is informed that the browser to only send the cookie to web server if the protocol is encrypted, for example HTTPS or TLS. So this flag protected the cookie from eavesdropping over unencrypted channel. Now HTTP only flag. So it instruct the browser to not allow access or any manipulation of the cookie via JavaScript. So this flag protect the cookie from the cross-site scripting attacks.
In this video, we are going to doing the practical for cookie attributes. So cookie attributes. So most important user specific information such as a session token is often stored in cookie within the client browser. Due to their importance, cookie need to be protected from malicious attacks. So this protection usually comes in the form of two flags, secure and HTTP only. So the secure flag inform the browser to only send this cookie to web server if the protocol is encrypted, for example, HTTPS, TLS. So this flag protects the cookies from eavesdropping over unencrypted channel. So the HTTP only flag is instruct the browser to not allow access or manipulation of the cookie via JavaScript. So this flag is protect from the cookies from cross-site scripting attack. So first uh, we will check in our lab. So just open the utility lab and just make sure you are not logged in. After that, you have to check your HTTP history, check the GET request, and check the response. So here we can see that the set of two cookies here. So examining the end of the set cookies assignment line. So notice the absence of HTTP only flag for both lines. So this means the PHP session ID and shown with cookies value are not protected from the JavaScript script manipulation. So this is the security finding that you would include in your report
if you are not getting that type of secure flag here. So in this case, make sure your cookie is set with the secure and HTTP flag only. So here is the missing that. So this is the one type of vulnerability. So we can consider as a cookie attributes. So it's do not prevent from the uh, JavaScript. Like anyone can attack the cross-site scripting. So this is all about the cookie attributes lab. So I will show how it will look like if HTTP flag is enabled. So in both line, look, I think as per the, so here missing is secure and HTTP only. So make sure this is available in both set of cookies. So this indicate that the secure flag. So this is all about the cookie attributes. Now assessing session management mechanism. Third point is testing for a session fixation. So generally session tokens are assigned to user for tracking purpose. So that's mean whenever browsing an application as an unauthenticated user assigned to unique session ID, which is usually stored in cookie. So application developer should always create a new session for token user uh, after the user logs into the website. So if this session token does not change, then application could be susceptible to session fixation attack. So it's one type of the vulnerability of session fixation attack. So we can say that the it is the responsibility of the web pen tester to determine whether the this token change value from unauthenticated state to authenticate state. So we have to verify that. And session fixation is present in when application developers do not invalidate the unauthentication session token, so allowing user to use the same one after the authentication. This scenario allow attacker with a stolen session to masquerade the user. So in this type of vulnerability, make sure we are checking the session token of unauthenticated user and as well as the authenticated user. So in this video we are doing the practical for the session fixation. So how will we verify that so we are opening our lab. Just click on and the login and check the login request in Burp. Okay, this is the request. Okay, now check the request and PHP session. Just send it to comparer. Okay, now we will log in using a one user, for example ad pentest. Okay, so now we are logged in, so we will check that request also. So check that request in HTTP history and check that post request 302. Okay, this one. Okay, and here we can see that the PHP session also. So send it also in
comparer. Okay, now in comparer, compare by words. Just a minute. We have to send that both request. Okay, first this one to send it to comparer. Request, and this one also where we are logged in. So we are logged in. We will remove previous one. Okay. Now first this is the unauthenticated request, and this is the authenticated request. So we will compare. First we are clearing that. Just a minute. Proxy. First send it to comparer. Okay. Now we will send the authenticated. This is the unauthenticated request. Now we will send the authentication request 302 post request. Okay. Now we will compare the words. So this is our login request, and this is the unauthenticated request. But now we will check the PHP session ID. So here we can see that there is a no modification. You can find that the modify by this one, blue by deleted, and added by this one. But here we can set that the both PHP sessions are same. So here we can see that there is a no changes, no there is a no value change of PHP session. So if we are login using a legitimate user or without the login, so both case we can find the same PHP session ID. So this means the application has session fixation vulnerability. So we can check in our web pen test lab, or you can check the any website if you are doing the web pen testing. So this is the one type of session fixation type of vulnerability, because we are getting the same PHP session ID with or without the uh, with user login ID and without the unauthenticated request. So this is all about the session fixation. Assessing the session management mechanism, we are going to discuss regarding the exposed session variable. So session variables such as a token, cookie, or hidden field from are used by application developer to send the data between client and server. So these variables are exposed on the client side, or an attacker can manipulate them to gain the access of unauthorized data or capture the sensitive information generally. So let's do the practical for the exposed session variable. In this video, we are going to do the practical for the exposed session variable. So first open your lab, okay, and just check the OWSP SQL injection, extract data user info. Okay, so here you can check that there is a normal username, password, SOAP, web services, suite to expert version generally. So we have to use a burp proxy to identify the hidden field value here. So for that, we have to check our proxy first. Okay, check the proxy. Go to the option. In option, here is the response modification. So just check out the unhidden from the field and check this one also. Prominently highlight unhidden fields also. Okay, so and back to your lab. Just click on that again. SQL injection, extract data, user hidden. So here we can see that the hidden field page of user info. So if you enter the key after making some changes, you should know the web page like this. So we can identify the hidden page also here, userinfo.php. So using the burp proxy, we are able to identify the hidden page, unhide hidden from field. So this is the we can consider as a in this video as a pen tester, we should examining and manipulate this value to determine the whether sensitive information is exposed, or whether we can change the behavior of application from what is expected and based on our role and authentication status. So in this case of the our means we are not even logged in the application, and we can manipulate the hidden from field label page to access containing the fingerprinting information. So here if we can change the user info and putting the admin.php and enter. So we can say that all the user information, PHP version, config file. So how we can manipulate the hidden file without the login, and we can identify the page containing the information. So we have manipulated the hidden form field label page to access the page containing fingerprint information. So accesses such information should be protected from unauthenticated user. So right now we are not logged in. Still we are able to access the information web page. So this is all about the HTTP. So this is make sure it's not available without admin rights, but still we are able to access. So we can call this as a exposed variable type of vulnerability. So this is all about the exposed vulnerability, exposed session variable vulnerability. Okay. Now testing for the cross-site scripting forgery, CSRF. It's we can say that the attacker that ride on authenticate user session to allow or attacker to force the user to execute unwanted action on the attacker's behalf. So the initially rule that of the attacker is that can be shown by the phishing or malicious link executed through the cross-site scripting and found a victim's website. So CSRF exploitation may be lead to a data breach or even full compromise of the web application. So generally we can say that welcome everybody. In this video we are going to doing the practical for a CSRF attack. Okay, so first we will check the how many current users are in this lab. So just open your utility lab and just click on the for that how many current users, so we have to perform SQL injection, so we can check first how many users that. So just click on SQL user info. Okay, now just enter a name, pick or 1 equal to 1 dash dash space and click on view account details. So here we can see that there is a 24 records. Okay, all the records we are able to see here. We have confirmed that the 24 records currently exist in this account table of database. So now return to the login request and just click on the register. Here we can creating a one user. Okay, okay, and we have insert the one row also. So cyber brew army, so one row insert. So first we will check the mm, user info, how many users are there. So we will perform the same SQL injection to view the how many. Now you can see that there are now 25 records are found. Previously it's 24. We have added one using the register page, and now 25 record we are able to find. So now check the HTTP history of that, because we have already enabled the proxy for that, and check the request post and register.php, post and register.php here. Here post.register.php. Okay, now send this request to repeater first. Okay, now if you are using a burp professional, then you can just right click on that and engagement tool, and you can generate the CSR POC here. Okay, so this is the CFR POC, and upon clicking, this is the CFR. But if you are using a burp community, so we have to create the CSR POC by viewing the source code. So first we have to check that. Just click on the register, click on register, check a view source code if you are not using a professional version. So for that, while viewing and control F form something. View page source, view page source. So for this we have to, you can form text section. If you are using a community version, then you have to uh, find the source codes and need to generate user information disclosure. So we will check with the burp professional first. So just here is the CSRF POC here. So Sam, what we are doing here, we are just copy that into notepad. This is our CSRF. Okay, now we have to insert the username value here. Okay, this is our previous value. Okay, so now I'm just changing the username value. Okay, so I am setting as an attacker and setting as a password here, attack. Okay, and now I'm saving this file, desktop CASRF lab POC all file dot html. Okay, so here is the save, we have saved that file. So first we will now we return to the login page first. You can generate by viewing the source code also, if you are using a Burp community edition. First we are using a first application. We will log in with just this ed pentest. Okay, now we are able to, we are logging in that. And okay, uh, now we have to logged in is a ed pentester user, for example, for demonstration purpose. So now we are opening the our html file here first. So just we are we have to open this file on that file. So first I have to open with not able to find that comment here. Actually I'm using another browser, include which is include with Burp Professional, and I have saved on that. That's why. Okay. Open with. We will open this request in this browser. Okay. Okay. Now we will sending the that CSRF HTML. We are opening this CSRF HTML page using the same browser. Okay. So now clicking on the submit request. Password does not match. Expect the token from this request token passed by user from this request. New token, new session started. Just a minute. We will open that again and submit the request. Password does not match. Okay, okay. Because in we have to first check the HTML code first because I think something is missing in password matching. So okay, okay, we are missing that one. That's why confirm password. Okay, take. Okay, so now password are same. We are saving that and we will resubmit it again. Due to password mismatching, it's showing that type of error. Now submit that active request and now account created for attacker one row is inserted. So here using the CSRF HTML code, we are able to generate the user if we are logged in using a particular admin or any user. So we can now we will check the malicious executed post file first. So we have to search post created file recently. Okay, this one first we will check register attacker. Okay, this is the okay malicious post request. We are find in the but HTTP history. So attacker can use the uh, perform the if any CSRF protection is missing, then this type of attack happen. Now we will check the return and check the record first. How many records are present? Okay, your account details 26. So in this lab we have first checked the record how many records there are 24 records during before we start this type of practical, and we have created one genuine user uh, using a register page. We have copied that HTML CSR code, and we have generated one user account using that type of CSRF POC. So CSRF attack require unauthenticated user to perform this type of action. So within application on behalf of the attacker, in this case, attacker writes on ed session to rerun the registration from to create an account from the attacker. So we have already used the ed we have used the ed as admin to perform this type of account role, allow the account role to be evaluated as. So in short, CSRF is attack that writes on authenticated user session to allow attacker to force the user to execute an authenticated action on attacker's behalf. So we are using a AD's account, and we are attacker can perform to uh, attacker can perform the his malicious activity to create a user. So this initial lure of this attack can be phishing email or malicious link can be executing through a cross-site scripting vulnerability found on victim's browser. So CSRF exploitation may be lead a data breach on even full compromise of the web application. So this is all about the CSRF protection, uh, and we have performed the lab. So okay, thank you.
Welcome everybody. In this video, we will discuss regarding the business logic data validation. So, business logic data validation error occurs due to the lack of server-side checks, especially in the sequence of events such as a shopping cart checkout. And if you are purchasing any of product from the website and you are able to purchase mm, at a lower price, or you are able to modify or change their shopping cart content. So this type of attack uh, happen if any business logic data validation error is present. So for this, we will do the practical. First, we will check the our OWS BWA VM is running or not. So it's already running. So let's check to open first 131. Okay, our VM is running. So in this video, we will exploit the business logic design flow to purchase a many large product at a very cheap price. So first we will check the web asking for the password GUST guest, enter. Okay, now start webgot. Okay, first we have to check that concurrency shopping cart flow. Okay, so here we will check the price and update cart. Okay, so we have selected the one quantity and his its price is showing $1,800 approx. So first now we will check the HTTPS request for that. Okay, first we will check. Okay, this one update card. Okay, this one. Okay, send this to repeater. Check the quantity is 1. So we are placing a 10 quantity here. Now we will copy that request in current browser session. We have copied that and we will open it in another tab. Okay. Paste. Okay, now we are able to see the quantity 10 here. So now we will click on that first tab on purchase. Okay, so here we can see that the value of one quantity here. Okay, now and we will update cart here in second tab. Click on second tab where the quantity is 10 present. So we will click on update cart. Okay, now we will confirm. Click on confirm on first step where the price is $1,800 approx. So we will confirm that. Confirm. Okay, and here we can see that we are able to purchase the 20 quantity at the price of one quantity. So this is the one type of missing data flow at server end. So here we are able to purchase the 10 Sony Vaio laptop for the price of one. So
third safety issue can produce the uh, unattend the result. So for many language or for developer, knowledge to how to declare the variable or method as a thread theft is imperative. So this is all about the business logic data validation. So here is the one we have performed the lab. So in this lab, we have explored the business logic design flow to purchase a many large uh, quantity at the very cheap price. So this is all about the business logic data validation. So this is happened due to the lack of server side checks or lack of sequence of events such as the shopping cart checkout. So it's all about the business logic data validation. In this video, we are discuss regarding the unrestricted file upload by bypassing the weak validation. So first understand the many application allow for a files to upload for various reason. For example, uh, any PDF upload, image upload. So business logic on server side must be include the checking for acceptable files. So this is known as a whitelisting. So if, for example, if such check are very weak on only address specific, for example, file extension only, attacker can exploit this weakness and upload unexpected file types that may be executed on the server side. So first that we will deploy our VM, or it's already running. So make sure it's running at your end if you are doing the practical. So first we will check the OS vulnerable web application. He is asking the password, so just enter the user. Okay, now check the DVWA security, just low to site term medium and just submit. Okay, now check the upload file option. Okay, so note page, here we can see that the image to upload. So here we are able to only image only. So first we will create any other file. For example, we have already okay, we will try with this. For example, okay, so we will check that upload file, desktop, and malicious txt file. Try to upload. So image was not uploaded. One minute. We will check with the another file. If is there any, okay, we will check with the any. We will check with this malicious Excel file. So let's check and try to upload that. Here we are not able to upload and showing that the image was not uploaded. Uh, so now we will check with the just by intercept, click on, just clicking on the intercept on. Okay, now we will try to upload again. Okay, just open that and upload. Now we will check the this response http. Okay, so here we have to check that particular, so uploading, so content type and something. Okay, okay, we here is the, we are trying to upload this excel file, malicious excel file, so we are not able to do that. So we are just changing here image to, changing here to image or jpg, jpeg. Okay, now we will forward this request and make off. Now we will check that. Okay, here we are able to upload the successfully excel file. Previously we are not able to upload that file, but we have intercept that request and change the content type format. Previously it was application forward slash some format, but we have changed it to image to jpeg. So after that we are able to upload that excel file successfully. So due to the weak server side check, we are able to easily uh, upload uh, upload file type of our choice instead of a specific image upload. So the application code only check the content types of matching image or jpg. So we have just changing the content type in our request, so which is easily modified by the any intercepting proxy such as a burp. So developers need to stimulatively widely smooth content as well as file extension in the application code to prevent this type of exploit from occurring. So if a developer so so this is all about how we can exploit the mm, any unrestricted. So this is all about the unrestricted file upload bypassing weakness validation due to the weak of server side checks. In this video, we will discuss regarding the performing process timing attacks. So by monitoring the time an application take the complete task, so it is possible for attacker to gather or inner information about the how application is coded. For example, if we are login, we can check the login process using the valid credential receiver response quicker than the same login process given invalid credentials. So this delay in response time leaks the information related to the specific system process. So attacker could use the response time to perform the account enumeration and determine the valid user based upon the time of response. So for that we will first login in our lab. Okay, and meanwhile I'm opening the w fuzz for fuzzing. We will use the payload for common password to fuzz particular password response to check password response if we provide the wrong or valid. Common word list. Word list. Other common password. Okay. So our payload is ready to copy paste. Now just I'm opening our lab. So just I'm entering the password, right password. Okay. So ed and pentest. Now we are logged in successfully using AD user. Okay. We will check the HTTP history. Okay. Get still not received. Pop-up notification login.php get. Okay, this one. Okay. Now send this request to intruder and we will check the position. Okay, so first clear all and remove the HTTP session ID also. Just blank paste as a leave it as a blank and add up here it password and add. Now go to the payloads. In simple list we will paste that payload. Okay, just copy and paste it here. This is the common password. And one more thing we have to uncheck that is URL encode this character. Okay. Now start the attack. Now start the attack. We have started the attack. I'm showing column. Column. Response received and response complete. Okay. So this is the used by during the this is the response received and response complete. Okay, so we are able to see it here and now we will perform it with the we will check the status first. If we get anything our response received and response complete. So 156,302 this is the bank. We will check with the so here we can say that the administrator this is the wrong credential and this is the login our successfully event. So valid password is status is 302 and it's showing the received time is 340 and response time also nearby 343 and the same time this is the invalid credential so it's a response time is 489. received, and the response completed 500. So the this information leakage can occur when processing an error message or invalid coding paths take longer than the valid code paths. So developer must ensure the business logic does not give away such a clue to attacker. So it's taking the response time for login credential and invalid login credential, means legitimate login credential and in valid login credential. So this is all about the process, performing the process timing attack. So in delay response, times leak the information related to system process. So attacker could use response to perform the account enumeration and determine the valid user based upon the time of response. In this video, we are discussing regarding the we will discuss regarding the circumvention of workflow. So, for example, if any shopping website or if you are doing a shopping cart to payment gateway interaction must be tested by web app pen tester, so ensure that the workflow cannot be performed out of the sequence. A payment should never be made unless a verification of the cart content is checked on the server side first. So in the event, we will check regarding the missing. Attacker can change the price, quantity, or both prior to the actual purchase. So for this, we will check the business logic design flow in which there is a no server side validation prior to purchase. So for that, we are opening our VM lab. We will test this is an web code, so just click on that. Okay, so we have to check a particular, previously we logged in this web project, that's why it's login. If you are, if in your lab it's asking password, just use a guest as a username password. So first we have to check that particular Ajax security where we have to perform the insecure the client storage. Okay. Okay. Now we will also check the burp. This will close. HTTP history. And we have to also filter this. Filter. Make sure if you are testing this lab, it's enable script. Okay, now go to the our lab open. Okay, and now we will check the Pavilion notebook quantity 2. Okay, now it's showing the total amount before coupon is applied, total before which charge to your credit card value. Okay, so now we will we have performed this, and now we will check the switch back to the our burp history. Is there any event after changing the value? So we need to find a specific extension script. Okay, script. Okay, this one script. We have already enabled filter, that's why it's showing here. Okay, now we will check this client.js. This is the JS file, right? Client validation. Okay, this is okay. Now check the response, and we are able to. Okay, so Here is the var coupon. Here is the some var coupons option. So coupons code are hard coded within the JavaScript file. So however they used literally as they are, they will not work. So in majorly we have checked in the response client side validation JS file, and coupons code is here. So now we will check the raw file. Keep looking the source code and notice the decrypt something like if we got crypt. Okay, the function code decrypt some this one we got code something this type of event. We are just we will check in here. Okay, function code this one. Okay, function code return carrier. Okay, something. So in the browser we will check the we will open in the developer mode code length. Okay, decrypt. Okay, decrypt and code is here. So let's check in developer mode. F12, I think. Developer mode. Or we can enable the more tool, developer tool. Okay, okay. And now we are checking the console file to load over the server. Previously, due to the network issue, I lost the session. So I reinitiate and start the developer tool. Searching for the developer tool. Now we have to just type the decrypt, okay, and just need to enter, okay, and just enter. So here we can see that the gold after pressing the enter, we are able to see the gold. So this is the coupon code decrypted to the word. So this is the coupon code. It's decrypted to the word. So now we have to enter that code here, and we will purchase gold. Now click on purchase. Stage 1 is completed. Okay, now we will check the, just a minute, we have to check that particular event. Purchase client side edition. This is the coupon code. Okay, this is the this is the request. Okay, okay, now we are able to see the price here. So we will do one thing. We will just back to our lab and we will try with intercept on is. So proxy is on. Now we will click it again. Purchase. Now we will receive the request and here we can check the grand total. Grand total. Okay, this one. So we will modify that request to $0 here. So for that, we are just entering the value. Press F2 to focus. Okay, just we are entering here. Grand total to 0 to 4 0.00. Entering just 00 and here is the 0. Okay, 0 dot and just forward this request and intercept off. We will check the response. Okay, I think we have some done mistake in the typing the amount value. That's why it's showing a 00. So we you can modify the in short you can modify the grand total of value and we can change that particular value. Previously it was showing that a specific nearby 100 $1500 dollar, but we have changed that it to uh, in grand total. We have modified that request and we are able to purchase on $0. So due to the lack of server side checking for both coupon code as well as the grand total amount of priority to charging the credit card, so we are able to circumvent the price of assign and set our price instead. So in this way, lab we have decrypt the coupon code which is included at the client side mm, client Java side client side validation.js file, and we have also changed the grand total amount of that particular mm, credit card bill. We have to pay that specific. So due to this type of lack of server side checking both coupon code and as well as the grand total amount prior to changing charging the credit card. So this is the one type of vulnerability. So this type of vulnerability we have to check or we have to test by a web pen tester. The next one is uploading malicious file, polyglots. So polyglot is a term defined by something like use the server language, multiple language. So if we carry this concept into hacking, it means the creation of cross-site scripting attack vector by using the different language as an execution point. So for example, attacker can construct the valid image and embed it with the JavaScript. Then the placement of JavaScript payload is usually the comment section of the image. So once the image is loaded into the browser, XSS content may be executed. So depending on the uh, strictness of the content type declared by the web server, the interpretation of the content type by the browser. So by using this type uh, of uploading the malicious file, we can also execute the XSS in web server end. So for this, we will do the lab first. So just
Uploading malicious file Polyglot. So first we are opening our lab. For this we have to open the webgot. Enter username, password, guest UST. For the malicious execution, we have to search that. First, start the webgot malicious execution. Okay, this one malicious file execution. Okay. Okay. For this testing, we have to also open the particular. We have to download the JPG file cross-site scripting vulnerability from Portsiger blog. This is the link. You can read that blog. It's a very good article. We are just checking that blog, and we have to download this XSS image, which is embedded with the cross-site scripting. Or you can just check this blog as well as and just click on the JPG image and just save this image. So because it's embedded with the cross-site scripting. So first we will go to the our lab first. Okay, we have saved this file on desktop. Just click on save as image. Just open the new image. First we are intercepting the request. So just enable intercept on in desktop XSS. Okay, now start upload. Okay, this one is not forward. Okay, now this image is now make sure turn off the our intercept and just check this burp shoot. Uh, Now we have to create the one malicious file in HTML using providing this path for this lab. So in order to pass this lesson, upload a run malicious file. In order to prove that your file can execute, it should be created another file name here. So we have to copy that particular path and just we have created HTML file java io.file is equal to new and java.io.file and just paste the provided path and just save that as a any JSP file. You can give any JSP file name. Okay, just close it and open that particular file, .jsp file, and start upload. So here we can share that your current image is unrecognized. So we have to just copy that file, copy image address or copy image location, just and paste it here. Okay, now just refresh it here. So in this lab, we are able to uh, upload we can upload the malicious files such as a polyglot without any detection from the web server. And here we can see that the message, congratulations, you successfully complete this lesson. So due to this unrestricted file upload vulnerability, we can upload the malicious file such as a polyglot without a detection of the web server. So many sites allow a image to be uploaded. So developer must ensure that the search as do not carry XSS payload within them. And protection in this area can be in form of magic number checks or specific proxy server screening to all upload files. So many proxy devices are deployed before the web servers. They are just continuously monitoring and restricting this type of payload malicious file. Okay, so this is all about the upload of malicious files polygons. We have done this lab in WebGod. Testing for a reflected cross-site scripting. So reflector cross-site scripting occurs when the malicious JavaScript is injected into input field or parameter or header or any returning from the web server. So is executed within the browser. So reflected cross-site scripting occurs when the execution of the JavaScript reflected in browser only. So this is not the permanent part of the web page, but penetration tester need to test all the client values signed to the web server or determine whether its access is possible or not. So we will check it in our lab. So we will do the practical for the reflected cross-site scripting. Now let's open our lab first. Okay, here's 2013. Okay, cross-site scripting, reflected first order, and we are just testing with the pentest tool lookup. Okay, so first we will select the pentest tool. We'll use Skypiece. Okay, now we have to just click on lookup tool. Okay, now we will check the HTTP history. Pentest tool, we have to check the post request. Okay, this one. And in this request, we have a tool ID here. So this is our request, and this is our response. So first response we will check in a row. So in respect, in response, tool ID number 3. So just we are checking the pentest. It's showing okay. Pentest tool ID request 3 is reflected here. So now send this request to repeater. Okay. Now here is the tool ID number. So we are it's a reflecting in a response. So we have to inject the payload is here. So this is the one type of our accesses payload. So just we have copied that and just pasting here and just sending the request. So in response, we will check the row. Okay, this one and test. Okay, here. Okay, but here is the we can see that here. So we are working on JSON instead of HTML. So we will need to just adjust our payload to match the structure of JSON return. So we will modify our original payload uh, to this one. This is our JSON payload for XSS. Just we are testing, replacing here. Okay. Just a minute. I think something is
we have to check that. Just we have to use this payload. Just a minute. Copy this and need to just we have to copy that, and now we are just intercepting the request. So just intercepting, we have make the on. Now we will click look up to it again, and we will see that request is here. Tool ID, this one, this one. So we have to first making of collaborator. It's on. That's why we have to make sure there is no collaborator on. Okay. Now we are intercepting request again, because previously I am using the burp collaborator. That's why it's inside the burp collaborator payload also. So first request on. Now select the skyfish, look up. We will receive the request. Here is the tool ID, and now we are inserting our payload, which is we have converted it from the HTML or cross-site scripting payload to JSON input format. So now we are just forward this request and intercept off, and here we can execute the payload. So this is the our alert one. Okay, so this value is reflected in uh, uh, as a cross-site scripting. So due to the we can see that the if in case the pen tester testing tool identify this is reflected in the response, so it is received from the client, so allowing attacker to access attack, means cross-site scripting attacks. So this is all about the reflecting the cross-site scripting. So we have done the lab here regarding the reflected cross-site scripting. Now let's discuss regarding the testing for stored cross-site scripting. So stored cross-site scripting occur when the malicious JavaScript is injected into input field parameter header or after returning from the web server. So is the executed within the browser and become the permanent part of the page. It's a permanent part of the page. So stored accesses occurs when the malicious JavaScript stored in the database and is used later to populate the display of the web page. So penetration tester needs to test all the client values signed to the web server to determine whether it's a cross-site scripting is possible or not. So let's do the practical for the same. Now open our lab. Now we will first check the cross-site scripting and persistent second order. Okay, now add to your blog. Okay, now just we are pasting the text something here. Okay, intercept on, make sure. Just we are intercepting the request. Save to blog entry. Now we will receive the request here. Now we will use the payload, cross-site scripting payload. This one, copy. Now insert the payload is here. Okay. Now forward this request and intercept on off. And here it's a populated with the our cross-site scripting payload. Okay. Now click on OK button to close this pop-up. So we have okay that, and now reload the page. So you will see the alert pop-up again. This one. So we are able to uh, get the malicious script has become the permanent part of the page. So we are successfully shown the proof of concept for the stored accesses vulnerability. If we are putting the clicking on the OK and refreshing the page, still we are able to get the cross-site scripting payload is here receiving the accesses vulnerability, stored accesses vulnerability. So this is all about the stored accesses vulnerability. So you will able to see the alert pop up again and again. It will permanent the it become a part of the permanent part of the web page. That in this video we will discuss regarding the testing for HTTP verb tampering. So HTTP request can be include the method beyond the get, post, and there is a many option like option, trace, delete. So as per the penetration tester, it is important to determine which other HTTP verbs methods, HTTP methods is allowed by the web server. So support for the other method maybe disclose sensitive information, for example, trace, or allow any dangerous invocation of the application code, for example, delete. So let's see in our lab how we can perform this type of HTTP verb tampering using a burp suite. So let's do the practical. Welcome everybody. In this video, we are performing the HTTP verb tampering lab. So just click on the home and now just check out the history, HTTP history, and just check the get request. Okay. So HTTP verb tampering means we are changing the method of HTTP. For example, here we are using a get method. So just we are changing the HTTP verb here. So just send this request to intruder. Now just clear all, just add the payload is here, and we are using a payload simple list. For example, a lot of another method like post, put, delete, patch, head, connect, options, and many more. So just you can check out the all HTTP method and just click copy that and just paste it here. And now just we are performing the start attack and we will get something if okay. Now we are just checking the all the status, for example 200, 200, 200, and so for example okay. So testing the HTTP verb tampering, including this sending a request against the application using a different HTTP method. So analyze the response here, and tester need to determine the status code. For example, here we are getting the 400, but we are getting here 200. So whether status code of 200 is written for any of the verb tested, including the web server, allow that request or means allow that type of HTTP method here. So this is all about the HTTP verb tampering. Now fourth one is the test HTTP parameter pollution. So HTTP HTTP attack is a where we can perform the multiple HTTP parameter are sent to the web server with the same name. So the intention is to determine whether application response in anticipate manner or allowing the exploitation. So we have to check that if we are doing the web pen testing. For example, in get request, additional we can add the any query. For example, if name related query already added, so you can add another name is equal to value something, and in short, you can add the duplicate parameter within the name already known by the application code. So likewise, HTTP attack means HTTP parameter pollution can be performed on a post request by duplicating the parameter name in the post body data. Uh, in our lab, we can perform regarding the HTTP parameter pollution, and you can also check out the Portswigger lab also. Now open our lab. Just go to the injection other HTTP parameter pollution. Okay, and here is a for example poll question. So we have already configured our Burp Suite proxy for that. Now just we are performing, for example, we are going to what and map here or any, for example, here is the name list and we are going to give the what here poll question in short and just submit the vote. So we have submitted the vote. Now check the HTTP history poll question. For example, this is the we have sent the request and map and enter the cyber bureau army. So just send this request to repeater. Okay, now we have added the request here. So now in HTTP parameter pollution, we can perform the multiple HTTP parameter sent to the server within the same name. Here is the same name is, for example, choice and is equal to nf. So now let's we are adding, for example, metasploit. Okay. So now, for example, just adding one more parameter. Need to copy that. Copy and just paste here. There is and we are using here metasploit. Okay. Now just send the request to examining. We can examine. We will check that. Now we will check the keyword choice. So what we will get the choice. Let's check. Initial choice, your choice. I think I have to search like your choice. Let's see. Yes. Here we can check that your choice was Metasploit. So here we have added the multiple parameter within the same name. So generally, if we are doing the pen testing, so we have to check the application code first to check against the multiple parameter within the same name. when passed into function. Here is the result is that the application usually act upon the last parameter which we have provided. Here we can see that we are getting the metasploit, and we have last provided parameter is metasploit. So this is the odd behavior and unexpected the result. So this is all about the HTTP parameter pollution. Now, fifth one is a SQL injection in evaluating the input validation check. So I have this image source from the port figure, and there are a lot of different types of SQL injection available. But we are understanding the basic regarding the SQL injection. So SQL injection. So SQL injection involve the attacker to providing input to the database, so which is received and used without any validation or any sanitization. So the result is devaluing sensitive data and modifying data, or even bypassing the authentication mechanism. So here we can, for example, if we are inject any uh, uh, SQL parameter in username, password tab, and if we are getting the mm, any type of data from the database. So this type of attack you can consider as a SQL injection, and you can check out the Portswigger lab. There are different types of SQL injection lab is available. Now let's we are performing the SQL injection with pentest lab. At, so just check out your home page and just checking the SQL injection. I think we have to perform on bypass authentication. Okay. So, for example, here is the login page portal. Okay. Now, just we are first we are intercepting the proxy first. Just I am enabling that. Okay. Now, just I am entering the username password like. Okay. Just, okay. Now, just we are login, and here we are getting the request. So this is the path, login portal path, and this is the username and password here. So now we are just testing here. For example, we are inserting the additional SQL parameter like. So here is the one cheat sheet we have opened, or like, okay, this is the bypassing login screen. So just we are using this. Okay. Okay, just copy that and just insert the here. Okay. Now, okay, now we are just forward this request and intercepting out, and just checking the response here. Okay, so and return to browser as a just okay. Now we are logged in using admin. You can see that the here is the logout tab. We are just entering the cyber brew army, which is not related to right password, but we have inserted the SQL injection a parameter here. So you can check out the SQL injection cheat list on, you can search in Google. And for more additional type of attack you have to perform, just check out the Portswigger lab. This is the very good one lab, and you can check out this type of or type of attacks, and you can perform the lab as well as. So you can also identify the you can also get the how to prevent the SQL injection here. So I'm just performing the basic level of SQL injection. Okay. Now sixth topic is command injection, evaluating the input validation checks. This image source from the port figure, and in port figure you can also find the lab if you have to perform the any test lab, and we have also deployed in our lab scenario on our network. So first understand the command injection. So command injection involve a attacker to attempting to involve a system command, normally perform a terminal session within the HTTP request. For example, many web applications allow the system command through the UI for troubleshooting purpose. For understand, if you have any network device where you can perform the NS lookup, ping. For example, if you are doing the any firewall troubleshooting or any network device troubleshooting, so you can find that the one tab where you can perform the like ns lookup command or ping any server, and so this type of attack you can consider as a command injection. So in this command injection, they are able to get the terminal session within the http request. So let's do the practical for the command injection. In this video, we are performing the command injection attack. So just check out the injection, command injection, okay. And we are performing with the DNS lookup. Okay, so here is the, for example, we are just entering the any lookup IP, for example 8.8.8 lookup DNS. Okay, so here is the request name DNS or something like that, and you can just check out the HTTP history and DNS lookup. For example, just check out the post request where we have performed. Okay, this one request 8.8. Okay, now send this request to intruder. Just sending this request intruder. Okay, now clear all. Okay, now just for example, here we have performed the global DNS server, but we can use as a local IP address, lookup IP address, or just adding one more parameter. So for example, we have to just enter, or we can just, for example, add something like that, and we can add the payload here. Look like that. Okay, now for the payload we have to use the simple list, but you can check out the in GitHub checklist. So in checklist you can select the fuzzing and Unix attacks first debit attack. So just we are just checking the row, and we are using some of the payload here. Okay, just copy that and paste it here. Okay, now we will performing first must just uncheck the payload encoding. So just we are unchecking that. So now we are performing the start attack. Okay, it's taking a time. So just we are waiting for that because we have performed the 511 payload. So it will take some time. Just we are checking the response page of any payload if we are getting something. We will just wait for few minutes. So I am pausing my recording, resuming my video, and we can find that these are payload where we are setting, and we are getting some response using a command injection. Just here is the here you can find that the UID, wdata, gid, and groups. Same you can find using a second payload also. So just here we are getting using this type of command injection payload. So just I am stop the just closing that. We are not performing more payload here because we are find out the command injection. We have performed the command injection and getting the response from the system. So we are finishing the lab here. After performing the command injection, we are able to understand like failure to define the and validate user input against the acceptable list of the system command can lead the command injection vulnerability. So in our case, application code does not uh, confine system commands available through the UI, allowing the availability and execution of the command on the operating system that should be restricted by the application developer. And for command injection, you can check out the Forgery lab also OS command injection. You can just check it out the this article also, and you can perform the OS command injection lab here. So it's a very good lab available on Forgery.